Hi, welcome to Just Run Podcast with me, Nathan Marshall. Reese is doing the Hateful Eight, so he's not with us today. Today I'm joined by Victor. I'm not going to pronounce your surname because I think I'll destroy it. Victor is a trail runner from South Wales, not originally from South Wales. He is an ASICS representative,
ASICS front runner.
which is pretty awesome. And he's built up a decent little community around his love of trails. Hi, Victor. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So you've done Cardiff Park Run this morning?
Yes, I have. I thought I'd multitask. So Cardiff Park run first, which I haven't done in a while, and then straight into the running show then.
So what sort of time are you doing it recently with 5Ks?
Oh gosh, 5K is such an unforgiving distance. But these days, if I manage to squeeze under 20 minutes, I'm happy. I think I
Nice.
came in at 20 minutes today, which is good, I
Especially with the
suppose.
crowd, yeah.
Yeah, with the crowd. So it's not too bad for a Saturday morning.
Do you find the 5K probably the hardest distance to do?
I think 5Ks and 10Ks are treacherous. They should be banned. But no, they're the hardest because there's no margin for error. If you're deciding to go for a time, you've just got to start out fast out the blocks and just, you know, just basically go for it. So we're a really difficult distance.
Yeah, I agree. I think 5K is probably the hardest distance to
Yeah,
get to as well.
yeah.
So you are a runner now living in South Wales.
Yes.
How long have you lived in South Wales?
Um, 14, actually no, 15 years. I moved to South Wales in 2009 to study for my master's and met my wife. I've been stuck here ever since.
So did you start running in South Wales or did you run before you came to South Wales?
Never ran. Well, saying that, I went to a military boarding school in the Navy. So we used to have obviously your sports days. You did like the 100-meter dash here and there, but no, not really run until I sort of done 30 and decided I wanted to do something.
30K.
No, I turned 30 years of age
Oh, right,
and
okay. So you left it quite
decided,
late.
yeah, I decided, oh, you know what, I'm going to try something now. And I stumbled upon running.
Did you start running on the roads and like just around the streets, or did you hit the trail straight away?
Roads started. That's all I knew. Didn't know anything about trail running. I knew about hiking, but I didn't think people actually ran on the trail. So, like most people, started my journey on the road. And somehow during lockdown, when we couldn't go 3 miles outside of our house, there were trails by me. I thought, oh, perfect place to run. You will see people there. And yeah, I pretty much started really.
See, we spoke to a lot of people on the podcast over the last year, and a lot of the good things have come from lockdown and COVID.
I would say so,
It
yes.
caused so much heartache for people, but it also has brought so much joy to a lot of people as well. Um, it just opens people's views on so like how they should be living their lives, and
Yeah, I think lockdown was, for all the sad things that came with it, definitely there's a lot of good. For me personally, anyway, I think it was really a time where a lot of us found ourselves. And I think I found a bit of myself as well with trail running, really just being able to go outside and actually appreciate being outside, not just driving past and just getting about your day, but actually being immersed in nature. I think is truly special.
so did you? How did you progress, or like into the position you are now? Did you start signing up for races, or did the ASIS come about first?
My, I mean, my running journey is, for me, has been a blessing. When I first started running, I've been quite lucky. I said to be an ambassador for ASICS. I never saw that on the cards. I just thought, I've done 30. I want to do something for my health. I just had kids, and I thought I want to be fit for my kids. And I just started there, and just basically just building, going out, doing a couple of races, got into trail running, and I think I was quite lucky the year I got selected to join the ASICS team. ASICS were really driving trail running at the time, and I applied, and I was lucky to get in. So yeah, it's been a really amazing journey, not gonna lie. I've been to some amazing places as a result. I know everyone thinks about the kits. The kits are fantastic, obviously, but I think the friendships I've been able to build, the people I've met, I mean, people that you can see on telly and just think, oh, I'd never meet that person, and just to get
Yeah.
those opportunities, just been phenomenal.
So, what was your first trail race?
My first trail race was Cardiff 10K. I can't remember who the race organizer was, but I think it was in Forest Marwer. No idea. I just thought, oh, it's like a road race. And after the first mile, I learned pretty quickly that it is not like running on the roads. It's completely
Was it a
different.
lot of elevation as well?
I believe so. Yeah, I think it must have been something probably over 1,000 feet of elevation. But I remember the start was all uphill, and I tripped and fell, and I had some little stones lodged in my palm for weeks as a result. It was a very painful first experience, I gotta say.
So, what's been your biggest run to date?
Contrary to popular belief, I don't run big distances, or I haven't run big distances yet. 50K at the moment, but I'm building up to 100K next year. I'm going to find a nice flat one to do.
Flat
I
one.
think.
See, everyone thinks flat is good, but I did the Pegasus Cannon last year. It's
Yeah,
42 miles of canal.
yeah.
Horrendous. It was the worst thing I've ever experienced.
Well, it's like, I think I'll clarify my flat. When I say flat, I'm not talking pancake flat now. Anything 3,000 feet to 4,000 feet, I'd consider over that distance pretty flattish, really, if you're running over 100K. So anything around that range, yeah,
Something where
that'd be all right.
you've got the climb just to take it
Yeah,
off your legs a
just
bit.
a climb to take
Yeah.
off the edge a bit and then back on the flat bit again. So
So how do you go about training for that? Do you have a plan or do you just wing it?
now, historically,
I'm
I've
saying just wing it by the looks of your face.
historically every ultra I've run, I've never really had a plan. I've just gone out there. I always see it as a long day out with friends, like a long picnic for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do some stuff, but I always say to myself, if I can do, say, 2 or 3 20-mile runs in the weeks leading up to a race, I was like, I'm pretty much ready. 100K is probably slightly different, but I don't think I'll change my approach. It'll be the same approach, really. Just a couple of long runs here and there, and just getting time on feet, really. There we go.
Can I just say for the podcast, we're sat in the cafe in Sophia Gardens. So if you get the announcements come on, you know why. So yeah, we're sat in the cafe having a chat. So which race is that then?
Well, the plan is to do Race to the Stones,
Oh, right, okay.
because
Expensive.
well, I'm quite lucky because I'm an ambassador with Threshold. Um, so every year we get the opportunity to potentially do a Threshold race. So I'm hoping if that partnership continues next year, that would be the race to do.
Nice. So you never thought about doing any of the Pegasus stuff?
I have thought of doing Pegasus stuff. I've got a few Pegasus stuff that I plan to do as part of my build up to the 100K. I've got my eyes on the run from Port Call
Oh, the
to
Vogum.
the Vogum. It's only
Lovely,
because
that
I
is.
live
Yeah,
not far from Port Call. I just thought I'd just hop out the house and just
gorgeous, that is,
jump
yeah.
on the route. And it's a route I know quite well with the run, walk, crawl, real coastal. So
Yeah.
I thought that'd be a good one to do.
Yeah, we'll have to go out for a run because I'm down there quite a lot. Because every time, going into it, you've built up a community around your love of running trails.
Yeah.
How has that come about?
Well, that's come about as a result of Black Trail Runners, really. I mean, when I first started trail running, one of the things that really stood out for me was representation and seeing people like me. I remember my first trail race, there wasn't a lot of representation. And then I discovered black trail runners. I sort of built my confidence through them. Obviously, did my LERF and became a run leader for black trail runners. Um, but I see it as much more than that. I see it as the opportunity to just meet like-minded people. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, but we all have a shared love for the trails, and it's just about getting people to come out and experience what the trails have to offer.
Do you feel that on the start line where no one really cares like where you've come from? We're just here to race,
I
like to
used
run.
To be honest, I don't really think about it too much at the start line. I've been one of those people where if I want to do something, I'll do it. So even if I'm just the only one there, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. But the good thing is, me being there, someone else is probably watching,
Yeah,
and there's probably someone else thinking, "Oh, do you know what? I was holding myself back because I didn't see anyone like me, but now I see someone like me. It's like, oh, maybe I'll give it a go," and that's just what it is for me. Just for all the runs I lead, just getting out there, my face is out there, just to encourage that quiet person in the corner who thinks they can't do it, but they absolutely can.
yeah, that's cool. So you're a run ambassador, you're a run leader. Any ambition to be a running coach?
I always say I'm a coach's worst nightmare because I never listen. But this year I had Holly Stables. I was quite lucky. She's our ASICS community manager. She coached me through London Marathon, a road race I know. Um, but I saw the benefits of coaching. It has crossed my mind. Who
Another
knows? Maybe
string to
one
your
day,
bow.
maybe something to do to sort of coach and help people. I almost feel like I need to build a bit of cachet in running to do it, but we'll see. You never know.
Have you got any like bucket list races where you thought, oh, do you know what, I really like the look of that?
Do you know what? I had a few in mind, but as the years have gone by, I've been thinking to myself, can I actually do it? Which makes me even want to do it. Two things stick out at the moment. Dragon's Back is one.
Do you know what? I ask everyone that. Do you
Yeah,
fancy doing the Dragon's Back?
yeah,
If you want to join me, I'm doing it in 3 years.
yeah. You know, I is one that's really stood out for me. Again, I've got that little voice in my head saying it's too hard. I've got a friend, he's done it 3 years on the bounce, and in the 3 years, he's just timed out every time. But I'm still interested. And then this year, I had a look at the Pegasus Grand Slam, and I saw, obviously, at the rhythm is the last race, and I saw a few people with the wooden.
Yeah,
I thought I quite fancy
it's not
um,
as hard as people
that.
make out.
You know, I said, oh, six ultras in 6 months.
It's really doable.
So,
You spend in between literally just recovering.
so my plan is that's a 2026 plan. I think I'm gonna give it a go. I want that wooden plaque.
Yes, can't wait to see that.
Yeah, that's it. That's the plan.
Have you seen there's another like unofficial Pegasus Slam? One of the guys have done it this year. He's called Dan. He did all the normal Pegasus Ultras.
Yeah,
He did the Wild Horse and the Epona. So we've like everyone in the community have called it the Dan Slam.
Dan Slam.
So that seems to be a little
Oh, I
thing
know
now.
Dan. Is Dan
Like TV.
yeah, oh, Punk. Oh,
The
yeah.
guy who did,
Pink hair.
yeah, he did the ultra around the roundabout
I
a couple of
know.
weeks ago, which is just
I
crazy.
know. He dressed up for it as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he turned up in the last race, drinking champagne,
I
Bucks
know.
Fizz,
I know. I saw his
in his
captions.
pink blazer, and then cracking cans open as he went round.
See, Dan is a good example as to trail running is not an impossible thing, and it's
It's
not for a
not an elite
select. It's
sport,
not
is
an
it?
elite sport. I'll give you a story. I did Race to the King this year, and there were some people there who've never been to an ultra environment, and I could hear him saying they thought that it was an elitist, everyone's like a track athlete, but there was every shape and size, every creed, every color doing it, and it's like, oh, they never thought that anyone could do it. It's like anyone can do it.
Yeah.
You just got to love snacks and just be happy to spend a couple of hours out in the outdoors, and that's it. You're an ultra runner.
Yeah, I always look at ultra running, trail running as it's an individual sport with the support of a whole community.
Yes, definitely. There's one of the reasons I do it as well is the conversations you have.
Yeah, you learn so much about
You
people,
learn
don't you?
so much about people that and you learn so much about yourself as well. Um, everyone going or everyone doing an ultra is potentially going through something, and is almost like a camaraderie, if you like. We're kindred spirits. Sharing our stories, uplifting each other,
Yeah.
basically. And when things get tough, we're that hand on the back that, come on, you can do it. So that's what I love about it. Really, just that community sense.
So, because tomorrow you're going to be doing the Cardiff Half.
I won't be doing the Cardiff half. I will be supporting the wife
That's right. Yeah, the
tomorrow.
wife's doing
That's the
it.
plan.
So I always feel like the Cardiff Half is you're surrounded by thousands of people, but you're completely alone. It's a total opposite of like
Yeah.
trail running.
I think the thing with road running is there's so much happening around. The crowd support is obviously
Yeah,
amazing, but when you've got 25,000 people, I mean, I've tried this on road marathons. I try to have a chat with someone, and
me too. Yeah,
they're
yeah,
not interested in having a
yeah,
chat with you. They just want to get their race done with. But on the trails, you really, if you're gonna get through it, you're gonna, need people to get through tough sections of the race. At the aid station, for example, at the tough hill section, climbing over stiles, holding gates for someone, you're bound
yeah.
to have that conversation with someone. And I've made so many friends as a result. I've made more friends on the trail than I've made more friends on the road. So that says something about trail running.
So if someone was just about to start running, um, would you advise them to hit the road or hit the trails?
Um, I think for balance, to do both. Um, I'd definitely say your slower days or your recovery days to spend it out on the trails. Um, there's just something about being out in nature for me anyway. On the road, there's a lot of distractions. You've got the cars going by, you've got horns blaring, you've got the toddler crying on the street, you've got a dog barking because you ran past his
Yeah,
fence. But out in the trails, you can just be one with yourself, and time really flies, and you enjoy your running more. I definitely recommend spending a bit more time on the trails. I'm biased that way.
because
But
you can log more miles, I think, on the
oh
trails
yes, certainly,
easily.
easily, because you don't realize that at the time, but you're in such a peaceful zone. Time flows differently
Yeah,
on the trails, as far as I'm concerned.
and effort, time and effort is
Yeah,
completely
you
irrelevant.
know, I don't feel like anyone's judging me out on the trails as well. On the road, you feel like, oh, if you slow down, someone driving past
Yeah,
give you the side
yeah.
eye. But on the trails, it's just none of that. It's a very pure form of running, I think. Um, so yes, I'd recommend definitely spending more time out in the trails. Sure.
Yeah. Thank you for that.